Hey, Blake, um, curious, based on the other teams you've been on, to be, a favorite now, and where the world thinks that you guys, if you put it all together, can win a title. What is the mentality that you have going into the first, of what you need, these 16 wins?
Our mentality is, we're hungry. I honestly couldn't care less about whether we're favored by this or that. It means absolutely nothing. I've been in enough situations to know that. So, we've had some unbelievable practices, guys are locked in and focused at a high level.
Do you feel though that some of the younger guys who haven't been through this need to be told about how to manage pressure or anything like that?
You can't really tell somebody how to manage pressure, to be honest. You can explain to them what it's going to be like, something they might see, but I think everybody manages that on their own terms and in their own way, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I think if guys who haven't been in this situation see the way we prepare and the way we are set out to accomplish this, then that's sort of a lead by example thing. But I don't think telling somebody, hey, you got to do it this way in terms of managing pressure, I don't think that's necessarily the best way to go about it.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Blake, I'm just curious what stands out to you about Boston. Obviously, Tatum had a huge game for them against Washington, but they're also a little bit shorthanded without Jaylen.
They know each other well. They play hard. Obviously, Tatum is one of those guys that can go win you a game kind of on its own. So you have to give him attention, Kemba attention. And they have guys that are very capable of picking up the slack after that. Fournier and Marcus Smart, those guys are playing well. Neesmith and keeping Tristan Thompson and Robert Williams off the boards and controlling their output. So they're a team that I think is talented, top to bottom. Even without Jaylen, they're very talented, and they deserve all of our respect and attention.
Tom Dowd with BrooklynNets.com.
Hey, Blake, Steve has said you guys have some primary lineups that really haven't played together at all. One of them, I guess, being you with Joe and KD and Kyrie and James. How much are you just looking forward to just having everybody together like that and, being at full strength as a group?
Yeah, anytime you're going into playoffs and you have a roster that's for the most part full strength, you're just that's a win, But on top of that, you have to got to execute. So us not playing very many minutes together is not ideal. But I think the level of IQ that these guys have and how they play the game and how easy they make the game for their teammates. I think we'll try to lean on that.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Blake, we know how many charges you've taken, the way you've hustled and led people on the floor and used your athleticism against sometimes bigger centers. Is it kind of a change of pace for you or a different role for you to be somebody that I think people will look to kind of lead the defensive reaction in the playoffs?
Yeah, it is. It's obviously it's a different role. But I over the years I've worked a lot on my game and I feel comfortable playing that role and I said when I came here, I'll do whatever it takes to help win. And I've tried to do that. So I accept that with joy. I enjoy doing that, enjoy embracing that role. It's not always about playing the way you've always played. It's about helping and being a part of something bigger than yourself.
Ryan Dunleavy with the New York Post.
Blake, I'm wondering what it's been like for you playing for a coach like Steve, who you played against early in your career. And obviously, if that makes it a little easier to relate to him because he's had a Hall of Fame playing career. And if his career and to some extent your career going deep in the playoffs but never getting that ring, either of you yet, is kind of a reminder of how hard it is to go all the way in this league.
Yeah, he's been great, man. You never know how coaches are going to be, let alone first-time head coaches. And I think the thing that impressed me the most is his poise, for being such a young coach. I think that's something that kind of I feel like poise is one of those things you sort of learn and develop over your time under one position. And I think he's very poised. He has a game plan. He has a message to relay to us, and he relays that. And he is great about picking the things to get on us about. You can't control everything. You can't stop everything. But I think as a player and a coach, a former player that's now coaching, I think you sort of have that mindset, and I think that serves the team well, especially in playoff situations where you're playing against some of the best players and they're going to score, but you can't overreact. But you got to be smart about that.
Christian Winfield with the New York Daily News.
Hey, what's going on, Blake? I've got two for you. First, you brought up Tristan Thompson. He just seems to be a menace on the offensive glass, especially in the playoffs. Can you give us some insight into what it's going to take to keep him off the glass?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a team effort, to keep somebody that averages, that many offensive rebounds and has done it for a long time. You have to match his physicality and his energy. And like I said, everybody's got to come back in and rebound. We're not the best rebounding team. But by committee we can be. So sitting down, getting stops, and then finishing those stops with a rebound and not giving them extra shots is huge.
And then second, it's a little offbeat. I write about basketball and food, and it seems like everyone in Brooklyn has a smoothie in their hands at one point or another. I'm just wondering if before you came to Brooklyn, were you a smoothie guy, or was that something that happened after you got here? And just what is it about smoothies that makes them so good yet be able to fuel you as well?
Yeah, I kind of always been a smoothie guy, protein shake guy. These smoothies have gotten a lot of press lately. But what makes them so good? I don't know, man. Just a lot of ingredients in one cup to go. It's just convenient.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Blake, it's been a little while since you've come into the playoffs, and there have been some expectations surrounding the run that you guys could make. What's it like for you to be coming into the postseason with that being what the background, the beat is, as opposed to, maybe first round, maybe it'll be something like that?
The focus level, I think, is just there. Not to say you're not focused. We weren't focused going into a playoff series against Milwaukee when I was in Detroit, but it's exciting. I mean, to have that goal and for it to be a possibility is why we play. And for it to be a real possibility. So if anything, I think it's made us be a little bit more focused and really be on it, especially these last few days of practice.
Thank you.
James Herbert with CBS Sports.
Hey, Blake, I wanted to follow up on the rebounding thing. Typically when you play small lineups, when you switch a lot and you sometimes have bigs on the perimeter, that can create problems with offensive rebounding. You mentioned it was an emphasis. I'm just wondering, what goes into trying to make up for that stuff? Is it just simply a mindset thing, or how do you approach it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, it's a sort of thing you have to do by committee. Can't have anybody leaking out. Everybody has to come back in. It's not just it's not just having a mismatch down low. If there's a great offensive rebounding team, everybody has to come back in. So a lot of times those guys will tip them out or anything like that. So part of it's a mindset, part of it's effort, part of it's just wanting it a little bit more. I mean, I think it sounds kind of corny, but that's kind of what it comes down to when it comes to rebounding. And like I said, everybody, sometimes if there's only one big down low, two guys might have to go box them out and somebody else get the rebound, or whoever's boxing somebody out has to take him completely off and somebody else has to come get it. So it's not always just about boxing out and going and getting it yourself.
Steve Lichtenstein with WFAN.
Hey, Blake, just to follow up on an earlier question, what would you tell Nick Claxton, if you haven't already, about the differences between a regular season game and a playoff game?
I actually told him today, just, physicality. He's a great defender, super talented already, and a good player already. So just having not played in these situations, that was just my message to him. We were going through something, and I was like, man, every single possession is going to be a little bit more physical, especially down the stretch. Going to be a lot more physical. And the deeper you go, more physical. So that's just my message to him. But he's already in a good position.
Last question, Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Blake, I hope this question isn't stupid, but just with the way you draw charges, is there nuances you look for to give you an advantage? Whether it's, we have this official tonight, I get the call more likely with him than maybe another person, or this player is usually on the wrong end of those charges, or am I overthinking this?
No, not a stupid question, by the way. Thank you for the question. No, I mean, it's, certain guys I think are a little bit easier to take charges on. The guys that are incredibly shifty and have a lot of Euro steps and can sort of get by people. That's sort of a harder one to take charges on. But, obviously bigger guys, guys that are a little bit more reckless, you sort of key in on those things. As far as officiating, it's a little bit harder because, you never know how even officials that sort of officiate a certain way, they can, it's game to game sometimes, especially in the playoffs. Sometimes they'll let you get away with a lot more. So I would say it's more about personnel than it is about officials.
Thanks so much, Blake. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Blake.
Thanks, Blake.
Great. We'll start.